Are the Jazz going to draft Cam Boozer after everything we've heard? Let's talk about it. It's HoopsNerd Show. All right, guys, before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. All right, so if you are in the Jazz Mediaverse, Twitterverse, then you have recently heard a lot of talk about Cam Boozer. Now, Cam Boozer is the analytic darling of this draft. And if you go into any advanced stat or even just raw stat, Cam Boozer is at the top of each list. And it's like, he's like at the top of lists with guys like Cooper Flagg and many other great players. Like he's above Dylan Harper. All these guys in the last 3, 4, 5 drafts. Obviously not the same. You're not going to see things with Wembanyama because he was in another league. But for all these different college players, he's just at the top with his production. It's incredible. And you recently had a rumor, well, not a rumor, just a tweet out there where Cam Boozer was spotted at the airport in Salt Lake City. So the Jazz obviously had him in. And the reason why we can assume or make an educated guess that he has been here is because literally right when that happened, you have Jazz local media talking about Cam Boozer like crazy, whether it's like, you know, local news stations, the Locked On podcast and things like that. These things aren't coincidences. He was in, which makes them, and they obviously knew of it. And a lot of these local media will hear these things. I've talked to some of them and even heard things from them about different Jazz rumors and things. And so they obviously knew and had to fill their podcasts with content, and that's what they're talking about. Does that mean the Utah Jazz are going to draft Cam Boozer? Well, maybe. I personally don't think so. I think that the rumors we've heard from also all the different national people that the Jazz will take who is left from AJ DeBonsa and Darren Peterson is likely what is going to happen. The Jazz bringing in Cam Boozer for a workout is just the right thing to do. You want to make sure you bring him in. So, by myself, I have gone through, I've watched multiple Cam Boozer games during this last season. I tried to watch everything I could of AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, because I was crazy and thought the Utah Jazz had a real shot at jumping in the lottery. And guess what? The craziest thing happened. The Jazz did. So they will have the second best pick in the NBA draft and likely get the choice between they're not likely, they will between DeBonsa, Peterson, and Boozer. All the reports have AJ DeBonsa going to the Washington Wizards. FanDuel, who does some work with SLC Dunk, has him at the top of their board every single time. If you go check that and want to see what the gamblers are saying, it's there. I watched the film with Cam Boozer because I want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence, not just watching the games like I did before, because I watched the one I watched the most was Darren Peterson. I love Darren Peterson. I was watching Darren Peterson high school games before last college season. Loved him. DeBonsa too, but there's just something about Darren Peterson. Cam Boozer a little bit, but I definitely tried to watch him during the regular season. I'm just not a big fan of his game. I'm just not. It's not the flashiest game. It's not the most exciting game. It's, it is very Tim Duncan-esque. That doesn't mean you shouldn't draft him because it's not sexy basketball. If it's winning basketball, the point of all this is to win a championship. And if Cam Boozer is the one that gets you a championship, then so be it. Sometimes we want to win in the way we want to win rather than just win it all. And that is the best way to not win a championship. You need to do it with the player that's going to take you there. So just some thoughts on Cam Boozer of my own. I think we need to think about Cam Boozer a little bit as an isolation player. That's kind of how he plays the game. Now, he is a very good passer, but I think what makes his passing very good is that he is a very, very quick processor of double teams. So, what Cam Boozer's game, in my opinion, kind of boils down to is he will get the ball at the top of the key and he will do one of two things. He will do one of two things. He will either drive to the basket or he'll take a pull-up three. And he was a good three-point shooter, so he has the capability to do that. I haven't seen him really run a lot of pick and roll. I think that people that want him to be this kind of 3-4 is a little bit of hopeful, wishful thinking. You're trying to turn Cam Boozer into what you think he should be instead of what he is. Now, like I say, with all draft picks, you are projecting what they can become, and maybe Cam Boozer can become a 3. But I have a hard time wanting to draft Cam Boozer at 1 or 2 if I'm hoping that he becomes something else than what he is. Now, what he is a player that I think can be semi-focal point with your offense, because when he gets the ball at the top of the key, he can. There are a lot of times when he doesn't initiate the offense, and I guess I'm talking about him initiating offense. Sorry if this is all over the place. But when he initiates the offense, he does one of two things. He drives to the basket or he takes the pull-up three. He doesn't really call for a screen and run a pick and roll. Instead, if he doesn't initiate the offense, he will initiate like a dribble handoff type thing, or he'll pass out and then try to run a pick and roll as the big. But he will either take a pull-up three or drive to the basket. Now, he'll do one of two things. He'll either go to the basket and score. He's not the fastest, so when he gets to the basket, he is usually trying to overpower. He's not always able to do that. He's got great footwork, so what he does in college and in high school, there's a lot of like overpowering guys in the post, backing them down, a couple spin moves to get a baby hook shot off. And he does a lot of that, right? A lot. And he gets that shot and he makes a lot of them. He also gets blocked a lot. Now, he doesn't always just force the shot. Usually he's doing this in isolation. If he gets a double team, he will pass out of it very quickly. And a lot of times, too, that he opened big. Like I think Cam Boozer was at his best with Duke when he's playing the power forward and had a big next to him. He does play without space pretty well. So if the Jazz draft him, he can play in the post with Walker Kessler in the dunker spot. And a lot of what will happen is if Boozer is able to back down his opponent, and let's say the center that's on Walker Kessler or the off-ball shot blocker for the defense comes over to try to help out on Boozer, he will make a really quick and good pass. And he's good at it. He is. He'll also kick out to three-point shooters and things like that. The thing I am worried about a little bit with Boozer is that he is 6'9". He's not 7 foot. So when people try to say that Cam Boozer is going to be walking triple-double or, Jokic-esque, the thing is Jokic is 7 foot. And Jokic can make every pass because he sees over the top. And when he gets double teamed, when he's in ISO situations, he can pass out of those or force double teams on him because he's so big and he does overpower everyone. Cam Boozer, on the other hand, gets his shot blocked a good amount with those hook shots and that back to the basket stuff. And you've got a lot of dribbling in the post, a lot of back them down, sidestep, pivot foot moves, stuff like that. And then they'll get blocked a lot. Not like every time. He's very good at it, and that's why he scored a lot. But I do worry that come NBA time, you're going to be having a lot of Cam Boozer looking for mismatches to try to take advantage. And I don't know if there's a ton of players he's going to be able to take advantage of quite like he did in college basketball, right? That's my worry. Now, the reality is he may be able to just do that in the NBA as well. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe he's just so crafty and so good with the ball that even though he's not 7 foot, he still gets it. I think that the lack of verticality is a little bit of a worry, but he's so crafty, so smart, makes the right play, the right pass, and he is a great three-point shooter. There are situations where he's going to have advantages. So because he's such a good pull-up three-point shooter, it's going to force a lot of guys to come out on him, And then he's going to be able to read and react really quickly. And he is very smart. So let's say he gets the ball top of the key, fakes the 3-point shot. Guys are going to come and attack him to try to block the shot because he's a 40% 3-point shooter. And then he'll be able to drive. And that's going to be a lot of his game. That he's going to do a lot of that. The question is when he's not an elite first step guy. He is very strong. He's got a good handle. Are defenders going to be able to recover and then still guard the shot? Because a lot of what happened in college is he wouldn't just go right to the basket all the time. The defender would recover, and then he would be doing post-up moves after the drive to the basket. And that's where I worry, can he be elite in the NBA when that's going on? I don't know. There are some question marks with Boozer that I have that he may answer. And the thing is you don't always know with these guys exactly what's going to happen. It may be a moot point. He's won everywhere he's went. The analytics are very, very good. You cannot argue that the stats and the analytics aren't good. I worry that there's a ceiling there, because there's guys that dominate in college because they just overpower guys, and he's so mature and so advanced at 18. But there's a little bit of some questions about the athleticism. And I'm talking functional athleticism when you're on the floor that you worry about just a bit, right? So we'll see. Now, I think after kind of diving in and just really trying to back up what I'm thinking and trying to be open about, like, hey, if the Jazz draft this guy, how do I feel about it? I will still be disappointed, I'll be honest. But I'm not going to be catatonic, okay? We'll be okay. We'll pull through. If the Wizards draft Darren Peterson and the Jazz are choosing between DeBonsa and Boozer, I mean, first off, that's a great place to be. If I'd have told myself 2 months ago that that's the situation the Jazz are in and would end up with Cam Boozer, I would have been ecstatic. So we're all living it. It's all green right now, right, guys? It's all frosting. It's all great. I would take AJ DeBonsa. I need to dive in more to AJ DeBonsa. I watched DeBonsa a lot. I saw DeBonsa courtside. I have seen a lot of DeBonsa. I want to watch more. I want to just kind of focus in and just kind of really come with a critical eye, right? I've done it with Boozer. I'm going to do it with Peterson as well. I love Peterson. I also really, really like DeBonsa, and I may fall in love with DeBonsa. By the way, this is a Boozer video, but someone called DeBonsa a 6'9" Jalen Brunson, and I can see it. He has a lot of the it factor that Brunson has, and a similar game, to be honest, with the mid-range, the turnarounds, the foul drawing, the passing out of the isolation. I love DeBonsa. I have a really hard time thinking that Utah is not going to draft either DeBonsa or Peterson. I think those guys are the top two on their board. That's what has been rumored from the get-go with Utah, with people that are connected, both national and local. And that's what I think is going to happen. But you never know. Maybe I have a feeling the analytics guys in the Jazz front office are very, very much fans of Boozer. Utah is doing the right thing because Utah's brought in guys like Acuff and Michael Brown. I love Michael Brown. If the Jazz went to 5th, I'd have been very much in on Michael Brown. And Utah brought him in. They're just making sure they work out everyone, and that's the right thing to do. You want to do your homework. You want to make sure you have made sure you've done everything you can. One other reminder, Utah drafted Ace Bailey without a workout. They did not have a single workout with Ace Bailey in Utah. Ace Bailey's representation at the time was trying to get him to Washington, and Utah drafted him anyway. Utah has already been doing the work. They know DeBonsa really well. They know Peterson really well, and Boozer. They know all three. Maybe a workout changes their mind. I tend to think that workouts will change your mind mid to late first round more than they probably are at the top. I think these guys at the top are so well known and so scouted, and just there is as much intel out there about them more than anyone. that I don't know if a workout is going to change opinions. You know, they know a lot already. They have the stats already. A workout may back up certain things, right? But I don't know if that's going to change their minds. Like, oh, now we should draft Cam Boozer because he made a bunch of pull-up middies in our workout. I don't think that's going to change their mind. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, guys, that's all I got tonight. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's the best month I've ever had. Thank you so much for your support, guys. We are getting close. We've got to get some live streams going. Things are calming down a little bit for me. I know summer is going to be crazy, so stick with me. We're going to have a lot of fun. As much video content as we can absolutely do. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about. I'll talk to you next time.